All right, C1x Report, final round of the Turku Open. We're going to start off by looking at the cash line round we did on moving day, which was with Emil, and I am blanking on the last name at the moment, Lampela. And he did put a better performance together final round than he did in the second round, but unfortunately finished one stroke off of cashing, which is a bummer. I think that's pretty close. Yeah, basically shot his rating in the final round. One stroke better would have done it. So that is a bummer. Wasn't able to pull out the cash line. But as always in the final round, we're going to go with the winner. We're going to take a look at the winning round of the tournament, which was Ezra Robinson's 8 under. So let's we've already got the course set up in the app. Let's scroll down here a little bit, pull the app up, make sure I'm actually showing it. All right, let's enter in this final round. So going over to the Stag 2025, we'll check out this 8 under. All right, so hole 1, Ezra through driving the fairway, upshot into circle 1, missed the circle 1 putt, had the tap in for par. Hole 2, exact same thing. Drive in the fairway, looks like second shot in the fairway somewhere. And then third shot into circle 1, missed the circle 1 putt, had the tap in for bogey. So starting off a little rough on the putting green, 1 over through 2. Hole 3, shorter par 3 through the drive to 26 feet, and then made the nice putt for birdie. Probably nice to get that 26-footer in pretty early in the round after already missing a couple. Right the ship a little bit there. Hole 4, same thing in the fairway. Upshot to 26 feet. In the basket for another birdie. Hole 5 looked like a rough one. Drive into circle 2. Missed the circle 2 putt somewhere in circle 1. Missed that circle 1 putt for a tap-in bogey, dropping back down to even. We can already tell that putting, I think, is going to be the theme of this round. Obviously, it was enough to get the job done, so zero judgment here. You win a pro tour, you did something right. And then follows that up by making a 59-footer from circle 2 on hole 6, which is ridiculous. Hole 7, drive in the fairway. Looks like upshot just in the fairway again, through his 3rd to 16 feet, and then had the tap in for par. And then he turned it on for the rest of the round. So hole 8, drive to 16 feet in the basket for birdie. Hole 9, drive landed in the fairway, upshot to 16 feet in the basket for birdie. Hole 10, another 16-footer for birdie. Hole 11, first parked of the round. Good tee shot, I presume, and then upshot to 6 feet. Tap in to go to 5 down. Hole 12, penalty off the tee, but looks like he was putting from circle 1. So that must have just been OB by the green. It was last place in bounds. New lie was from 26 feet, and he did hit that putt for the par. So good par save there, keep the round going. Hole 13, another circle 2 look, but missed C2, hit the 16-foot comebacker for par. One thing I would like to put in C1X is just, I know that a lot of courses are, you can end up in spots in circle 2 where it's not even a putt, or, you know, it's a death putt and you're laying it up anyways. And it'd be nice to not have those necessarily count towards circle 2 misses. It would be, you know, totally up to the judgment of the user, but it'd be nice to say, you know what, I laid that one up anyways. You know, we can show that in a stat, but I don't necessarily want it to affect the, it'd be nice to have like a C2 putting percentage of putts that I actually had any semblance of a look at and was trying to make. Some courses you have a few where that's not the case. So random thought. Hole 14, drive in the fairway, upshot to 16 feet in the basket for birdie. Hole 15 looks like drive just in the rough on this one. No penalty strokes, but upshot under the basket for the par. Hole 16, fairway, upshot to 16 feet for the birdie. Hole 17, drive to 16 feet for the birdie. And then hole 18, I presume he knew he just needed a par at this point. I'm going to guess that this C1 putt, that's another thing. Like, you know, you're laying up that first C1X putt for the win. You don't want that to like hurt your putting stats, but not in the app yet, and certainly, you know, like a PDGA library, you just don't cover that, but that would be a nice thing to add. But hole 18, drive to C1X, laid it up, I would presume, but missed putt nonetheless. So we'll hit finish round and take a peek at Ezra's 18 down here, or 8 down, excuse me. 18 down would have been something. 56% birdie, a couple bogeys off the start. Kind of a struggle putting. 73% is pretty low, I think, for what you would expect the winning round to be. But he threw the disc ridiculously. Inside of C1 putting for birdie over 60% of the time. C2 almost 80%. Hitting most of the fairways off the tee. Only one penalty stroke during the round, and he was able to save a par on it. So all the bogeys came from no penalty strokes. He had circle one putts for the par save on both of them. Yeah, I mean, clearly enough to get it done, but I'm sure he, in hindsight, I doubt he cares. But had the round gone slightly differently, I'm sure there's some of those putts that he would have wanted back. Still a pretty ridiculous round, though. Yeah, C2 bonus, -3, not the highest, but put together a nice little birdie streak at 4 in a row. Made a lot of the C1X putts that mattered coming down the stretch. It was really just those early ones that got him. Yeah, I mean, obviously a solid enough performance. So can't complain about that too much. Let's take our screenshot here and start putting these graphics together for the C1X socials. All right, we'll grab a upload here. Let's go grab Ezra's round. Throw this into the graphic. We got Ezra Robinson's final round here. Round 3, that was a 54 -8. Still 1053 rated. Yep. Pretty crazy shooting a 1053 rated round with 70% C1X putting. That requires some pretty ridiculous driving along with a decently high rated field and a hard course, I think, for that to happen. Putting stats that I want to include. Going to leave C1X putting in there. It's I think for a round like this, it's seeing what it took to win and knowing that it was done with only 73% C1X putting is pretty remarkable. I think Ezra had the ability, even with some missed fairways, a penalty stroke, to distance himself and probably make that win a lot more comfortable than it was with some slightly better C1X putting. But yeah, all in hindsight, I don't think he cares at this point. But I'm gonna go C2 in regulation here, which was, what was that, 89 or 78%? Thinking of the fairway hits. 78% C2 in regulation. Bounce back rate 100%. That might be a fun one. I don't think we've had a 100% bounce back rate yet. So let's throw that on there. And yeah, that's going to be the graphic for Ezra's final round. Congrats on the win. Let's go put this one together. I'm going to stick with the buy rating here for Ezra. He is definitely one of those players. He kind of makes me think of like Gossage as well, Aaron Gossage, where like, he just throws the disc so well, and and I think the round that I just scored might contradict this a little bit, but you feel like if he was just always making his putts, that he's just going to be in contention. There's no way he wouldn't be. He throws the disc too well. That if the putts are going, then You're going to see him at the top of the leaderboard. Evidently, he just threw the disc really well today because the putts weren't all going in, and he still took it down. So, I'm gonna give him the buy rating. Hard not to with that guy, especially coming off a win. I think they come back to the States at this point. Maybe Ledgestone is next. I'm not 100% sure. But Ledgestone, Northwoods, Black. I think either of the Robinson brothers are probably a pretty good bet on a course like that. That might be the hardest in the world and super wooded, lots of lines to hit. Ezra throws the disc really well. So we're going to give him the buy rating. Let's get the round grade here. 8.58 NPO plus. All right. So 8.58, once again, C1x grade is not taking into account the round score, not taking into account that Ezra won the tournament. Obviously, winning that tournament is more important than the grade that C1x is going to give you, but it's nice for your casual rounds especially. The only thing that's hurting his grade here is just those putting stats. That weren't the best. Driving was obviously good enough that it's still in that NPO plus range for the C1X grade, which is the highest grade that the app is going to give. So still incredible. Obviously more than enough to get it done. And that's going to wrap up C1X Report for the Turku Open. So I think it's Ledgestone next. Could 100% be wrong on that, but regardless of what the next pro tournament is, we'll keep these C1X reports rolling. This is going to be the thumbnail for this video going up on the C1X YouTube channel. We've got our post to go up on the C1X Instagram, and that's going to wrap it up for this one. So congrats, Ezra, and as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.